Criminal justice scholars and police leadership throughout the country have been discussing the proper role of police in society. Given the very public events and controversies in recent times, I think it's a good idea to revisit the role of the police. The Industrial Revolution led to rapid population increases in both European and American cities. The population changes led to large increases in urban crime. England reacted by discussing the creation of a formal and professional urban police force. However, the public had great concerns that a professional police force would be or could be used against people deemed disloyal to the monarch. Sir Robert Peel was tasked with creating a London police force, and he developed principles meant to allay public fears and serve the interests of reducing urban crime. His police force, which people called bobbies, was purposely created to look and act differently than the English military. They wore blue uniforms instead of the red codes of the military. They carried nightsticks and handcuffs, but not guns. Bobbies were educated, literate, with no criminal history. They were young and physically fit. They had to be able to keep their emotions in check at all times. Peel's principles included the goal of preventing crime and disorder, not fighting crime. Another principle was that police power comes from public approval and respect. Public approval and respect were believed to lead to greater observance of the law by the public, less need for physical force, greater help from the public in preventing and solving crimes. Another principle was the absolute impartiality and service to the law. In other words, the law was enforced no matter the status of the person committing the crime. Peel discussed the importance of the minimal use of physical force, only that amount of force that was needed. Another principle mentions that police must not usurp the power of the judiciary. In other words, they cannot judge the guilt of the suspect, and they cannot exact their own revenge. Finally, Peel believed the true test of police efficiency is the absence of crime and disorder. This is how we should measure police performance, according to Peel. All right, I want you to pause this video and think about what you have learned about policing in this degree program. Do you think American policing reflects Peel's principles? Do you think it should reflect Peel's principles? What are your thoughts on these principles? Answer these questions in the discussion section. Once you are done, return to the video. The Law Enforcement Action Partnership revisited Peel's principles and came to the conclusion that American policing needs to embrace this vision. They stated that the primary goal of policing should be proactively preventing crime and not reactively apprehending suspects. They advocated for the position that earning the support and respect of the public is key to crime prevention goals. They believe that public support comes from respecting the values and citizens in the community and enforcing the law in an impartial manner. Criminal justice educators and police leaders have in more recent years criticized the police as crime fighter model. This model views police as warriors against a criminal enemy. The view that there's a thin blue line between order and disorder. the incentives and rewards for arrests, quality of life policing, where citizens are frequently stopped and frisked by the police. They argue this model leads to an adversarial relationship between citizens and the police, with an inevitable erosion of public trust. The journal Executive Law Enforcement Forum gathered police chiefs from all over the country to discuss alternative visions for policing in America. Jim Burek advocated what he calls true local policing. He envisions true neighborhood level police stations. Instead of submitting complaints to a distant station house, you can walk or drive to a local station. He suggests local problem-solving courts adjacent to the neighborhood stations. He believes we would have more meaningful responses to local crime problems in this way. Former Chief Michael Scott claims we need new performance measures for the police. He suggests an index of public safety that includes crimes not reported to the police, unsafe or disorderly conditions, citizen perceptions of personal and neighborhood safety. Other measures would include citizen confidence in the police, complaints against the police, and the number of lawsuits filed. Former Chief Jim Bierman believes that we need value-driven police departments. The values he cites includes collaboration, ethics, leadership, and respect for human dignity. He feels that these values should drive recruiting, hiring, and training. Bierman believes that the police should be a catalyst for change and a learning organization. The main points that I want to emphasize is that maybe we need to get back to the central ideas of Sir Robert Peel. Policing can focus on crime prevention. It can be responsive to the public and be principled. Principled policing is grounded in the rule of law, protection of the rights of citizens, and guided in professional ethics.